You know that in the beginning, the people are coming to Europe.
Okay.
And mentioned in the beginning is difficult. Okay.
Yeah, beginning is difficult.
What is your experience? I mean, I can talk about my own experience of having some difficulty in the previous years, but you have recent information. So what do you think in the last years, let's say 2 to 3 years, is it easy to find a job immediately after the graduation in Germany, or how difficult?
Yeah.
What do you think?
The main thing is to find a job. It's pretty easy, but we should be like we should calculate our time. At the same time, we should plan our things with the language barrier things. The language will be the main barrier. Once you cross the language barrier, and then if you're talented enough, like if you know some skills, if you have some skills, like applied skills, then you will be successful in Europe. Unless and until if you don't cross the language barrier, I would say it's difficult for me, because in my case, I'm struggling with language. I know I have completed up to B1 level of language, like B1 German language, but it's like I can speak, I can do everything, but coming to technical things, I should express myself technically. That I can say that's the best part to learn, and then worst part of my experience. And then I had experience in like I said you right, like in research. I worked as a research associate in Fraunhofer Institutes for 1 year. Over there, everyone speaks English. That's very cool to have such an environment there. But after getting out from that place, I tried myself to get a job like for 6 months. I'm trying for 6 months, but it's getting harder as time goes on. It's getting harder for me to find a job. And then I recognize myself, like I had this backlog, like language backlog, so I have to clear that thing, and then I'm working on it, and then that might be helpful for my profile to proceed further in Europe. I had two kind of experience, like research thing and then industrial thing. In research thing, it works if you have talent and skills. Everything works. Like English language is not a barrier over there. But once you come into industry, you should speak to clients, you should speak to your colleagues, and everything is an interaction thing. So there you will there you need a language. Like whatever the country, wherever you go, I feel that language will be a barrier, but not less English. Everyone will speak in English, but coming to main thing, if you feel the language, you should you will have more better communication. Yeah, that's what I feel.
Yeah, I remember from my own experience, I can say that learning the German is difficult enough, and we know all of the difficulty. That's one point. Yeah. But learning how to negotiate in German, and how to write publications in German, and how to discuss with the people on technical level, like doing the marketing in German, that's another. Yeah. This is something which is totally different thing. It's not comparable with the English, because it's not about the language, it's about the cultural thing. So the cultural content will go into that. Yeah. So it's not like this that you can translate every single sentence from English to German and say that you can do the same thing. Sometimes you use some phrases, sometimes you need totally different speed of discussion.
Yeah.
This is actually some of the difficulty. I totally understand what you're talking about. Yeah, this is.
One more thing. Sorry to interrupt you. And we have even English jobs here. I applied for even English jobs, but they need the experience thing. Like if you want to get a job in English, it's very easy to get a job here, but you should have experience. Before, you should have at least 3 to 4 years experience. And then if you move to Germany, if there is an English job, like there will be English jobs even in Germany, but it's like few of them. If you're lucky enough, and then if your skills matches, at the same time, the time even matters for me. Like at the same time, right time you have to apply at the right place. That matters even.
This is exactly what you're talking about, the effective job experience, the number of the years. Because things that we have previously done was that a person for a position, they required 5 years of experience. Yeah. And this person had only 1 year of experience. So it was difficult for us to convince the employer that this 1 year of experience he was working with us is as valuable as 5 years effectively. So this is quite difficult thing to do that. But once, to be honest, we need to talk directly to the employers. If a person applies for a job, of course, they can talk about the real number of years they were working. So you can just say 1 year, 2 years, I was working there. And this is their decision to decide how many effective year it is. Usually, the number of the effective year, they will reduce it. They just say, hey, this guy is saying 2 years of experience I have with that software or whatever kind of company. They say, okay, I was working something in between, so they will reduce it. It is very difficult to increase it. That's what we usually do that in a kind of direct communication and influencing the employers. It's still a barrier. You don't have the job experience, and people not giving you the job, but because you don't have a job, you don't get experience. Because you don't have experience, you don't get a job. It's a closed circle.
Yeah, until you get a kickstart, like to get a job, until you get a job, it's difficult. Once you get a job, yeah, experience matters. I even in India, I did a job there before coming to Germany. I made my academics and job experience in India. Like I got 1.5 year experience in India, but taking that 1.5 year experience to Germany, it doesn't matter anything. Like it's like it doesn't worth me like to get on with that experience here.
This is exactly true. I mean, this is totally understandable. Some people, they have experience, many years of experience. Even some of them have publications. I mean, we had people from China who have 10 publications, but in Austria and Germany, they don't consider any of them. Just say, hey, you have publications. Even your publication is published in some European journals. They don't accept it. Hey, this is whatever you have done in the early life. This is whatever your early life it is. Yeah. Can you tell me a little bit about your experience in the kickstarting? Because, of course, when you have the first job, then going to the second job would be very easy. The main problem is to find the first job. This is actually something which lots of people have problem. What is your experience with that?
Yeah, like to get in India, I had this experience. Like after completion of my graduation in India, I got a job within like 1 month because we had a college level recruitment. In our college, in our engineering college, they used to make recruitment placement is there. So we got selected there. It's a very easy step to get into the companies. You will get a job easily after completion of your graduation, and then after that, it's up to you whether you want to continue with the company after a year or 2 years, because the work is like you have to mostly deal with Excel, Microsoft. You have to prepare the documentation, and then you have to do small designing things like I can say piping designing. I went through the piping designing, so I can say about this thing like we have to design walls, pipes, and these kind of things, and then we have to do some documentation and billing of materials, and yeah, we have to forward our work to the quality department. They will check, and everything will be. Yeah, I'm not satisfied with this kind of job because it's like it's a kind of boring job. Like after doing that job for 6 months, and I got bored. Like yeah, what you're doing this is you want to do for all the lifetime. No. And then I realized myself, I went for 1.5 year to earn some money, and then I earned my money, and then I made some, like, even though to get into Germany it's not that easy. We have to learn German language in India, and then after learning the language over there, even that is not enough. We have to make some requirements of the college. I thought it's very easy to get admission in other countries, but yeah, that's my first step to get into Germany. Like, yeah, that's my kickstart, I can say.
Okay, that was your kickstart before even coming to Germany. Actually, you did your homework before starting that. But starting in Germany, you had a second kick after your graduation in Germany, because once you did that, what was the story from graduation? How did you come up to the Fraunhofer?
It's like I'm doing my internship in Schaeffler GmbH. Like it's a company, Schaeffler company is there. They used to deal with bearings and things over there. I used to deal with polymer things, design bearings, and then you have to inspect the material. You have to check, like there is a lot of criteria things. According to standards, we have to make the test and then qualify the material. It's entirely different. I'm working over there. That's quite interesting, but I didn't get the long term there. And then I thought, yeah, get into research field. You already had an industrial experience, so why don't you get into like research field? I applied for Fraunhofer Research Institute over there. After 6 months, like I'm applying for different institutes for 6 months of period. Like I was wasting my time, but I know the time is valuable. But I have to wait until I get my next break. And then I waited for 6 months. I got a interview from Fraunhofer. Finally, I started with the Fraunhofer thing. Yeah, everything is good, quite good. Everyone is like friend. They're acting like friendly. Yeah, they became friends finally. Everything went very cool with Yeah, I learned a lot of things over there, like 3D printing, designing. Like I even learned like new softwares over there, like Origin, KimCAD. There are different softwares over there. They help me through how to use it from the basic level to like intermediate level. They help me up to like, and everything is like a spoon feeding. Like that's very good to experience. At the same time, once you get the project in your hand, then it at that time the pressure comes at that time, like you have to start your own project, and then they will make some assessments. You have to finish within 1 week this kind of work, and next week you have to complete with the testing thing, next week you have to analyze the results, and these kind of things are there. Like I got a good experience over there, and then they even suggested me for PhD thing, but because of money thing, I want to do my PhD, but at the same time I want to earn money, and then they are offering like around 1,200 euros per month. It won't be enough for me, like especially in Berlin. To live, the expenses are more, like around 600 euros. I have to spend 600 to 700, and then it's like I plan my life in 2020. You should earn at least like 2,500 euros per month, so you can sustain your life.
Of course, this is totally clear that the people who are going for PhD, they will not earn as much as a normal engineer. This is totally clear. Okay.
Yeah, and then so, 1 minute to interrupt. But one of my friend is getting around 3,600 euros per month. I thought for PhD people, every PhD people get 3,600. But coming to me, like they are offering around 40% work, like 40% some kind of regulation thing. And then I thought, okay. And then they offering me around 1,200. What's wrong? And he's getting around 3,600. Like after taxes, he's getting around 2,500. And then I'm getting after taxes 1,200. It's like, what? What's happening with this position? I asked them,
Yeah,
and then
that's exactly what I wanted to say. I mean, there are different kind of PhD. There are like
yeah,
different kind of postdoc. There
yeah,
are usually three kind of postdoc, and we even wrote a publication in one of our previous blogs about the three kind of postdoc. But this is actually the three kind of PhD is the same. There is one
okay,
kind of PhD which is called PhD or postdoc that is academic and research based.
okay,
So if you're working in some universities or some research center, you will
okay.
not get that much money, but you will be highly publishing a lot of publications.
Then
This
that's cool. Yeah,
this opens up the way for you to be a professor at some universities or be a postdoc at some university. So you
okay,
are not earning that much, but you will have a chance to have a lot of publication, and you will have a chance to go for postdoc and professor in that direction. This is that
yeah,
path. The
okay,
second type of PhD and is like an industrial. So basically, you are employed as a PhD, but in reality, you are doing some jobs and project management and all of these
okay,
responsibilities. Then you're getting more money, usually double money. This is what you're talking about.
yeah,
But there is not a good chance of having high quality publications. So this is really
yeah.
a problem of that. So these PhDs might take several years, might take 5 years, might take
5 years. Yeah,
to be finished,
yeah,
while the other type of PhD can be shorter. So these PhDs are a little bit longer, and they will not come up with the same number of publications. So you most probably that doesn't open you the way to be a professor at the university, but you can be a PhD at the industry. The
okay,
third type of PhD postdoc are usually the self-funded. Basically, you are not earning anything. Either
okay.
you're not paid or get something. Sometimes you even need to pay for your PhD or for
Oh,
postdoc because the postdoc or PhD is accurately tailored for your career. So the purpose of that is basically the person who is really earning out of that PhD is you. So you need to
okay, yeah.
pay that PhD. This is
Oh,
basically self-funded. So
yeah,
basically, professors are working for you so that you get the PhD. This
yeah,
is not their interest, or it's not the
mm,
interest of industry. That's the
yeah,
third kind of thing. So in the first kind, the university and the research community are earning. In the
yeah.
second, the industry are earning, so they are paying. And the third
Okay,
kind of person is earning something, so the person needs to pay something. So
yeah,
these are the three different kind of PhD postdoc. I think we have it in another blog. If you want later, you can take a look at the page, or I can send you the link so that you read it. So that's exactly what you're talking about. This is some of the PhD might get totally double than the others
yeah,
in the same city, almost in the same topic. So this
yeah,
is most probably that is the reason. If there is an industry behind it, certainly the industry can also put the other 50%, and they can
yeah,
put complete employment.
yeah,
So there are the situation that the people are starting a PhD but earning as much as a postdoc. So this is also a good thing. If you want later, we can talk about that.